Our special guest this week, Brad Smith, Motor City Smitty, one of the most popular Maple Leafs of all time, Director of Scouting for the Stanley Cup champion Colorado Avalanche. Joe Tilley's Great Canadian Sports Show, coming up! Yes, this week's special guest is a Maple Leafs legend, born in Windsor, played junior hockey in Windsor and Sudbury. He was drafted by the Vancouver Canucks, played 10 NHL seasons with the Canucks, Flames, Red Wings, Maple Leafs, one of the last helmetless players. Spent 29 years with the Colorado Avalanche organization, former director of player personnel, now the director of scouting for the Avalanche, Motor City Smitty. Brad Smith, welcome to the program. Smitty, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be back on here.
You know, this is mighty early for you, Smitty, and we do appreciate that. And I know you had some late nights coming home from Montreal, but here you are, and it's great that you took the time to join us, man. It's good to have you back.
No, my day is half over with, actually, Joe, and we had Montreal was a very exciting time. All the scouts got together and we enjoyed some good dinners and had some time with the Stanley Cup. So it was good, other than the Montreal airport coming home. But I finally got home, and I'm not complaining. I'm home, and everything's great.
Yeah, man. I guess the airport problems are coast to coast these days, and they are an issue, no doubt about that. I wanted to say. I know you guys were, had spent some time in Montreal and had late nights and everything else and getting together with the guys, but it wasn't a really busy time for you. I don't think the Avalanche had a pick until the 6th round. Is that correct?
Yeah, we didn't pick until the 6th and 7th. We made a trade hours before the draft and for a goalie in New York, and we're happy. We've got a lot of young players in our farm system. We've got a good young nucleus with our NHL team, and there's a price that has to be paid. You want to get better, and you have to give to get. So we're happy. We feel like we're in a good situation again for next year, and we're going to take some time off right now and in summer and get back at it sooner than you think.
Well, you know what? It's a well-deserved time off, and we're going to get to more on the Avalanche in just a little while. But first, I want to talk about the career of Motor City Smitty. Now, you had a talent for scoring goals. As a junior, you played for the Windsor Spitfires. One season, you had 37 goals, 90 points in 66 games. The next season, between Windsor and Sudbury, you had 39 goals in 66 games. Of course, 222 penalty minutes. So you were busy, and it clearly impressed the Canucks. They drafted you. Tell us about getting drafted by the Canucks and getting that chance to play in the show.
It was awesome. I went to Vancouver a week early to skate with a lot of the Canuck players, and then training camp started. Then we went to Powell River. We took a ferry to Powell River, which was very interesting. A beautiful country there, and I didn't have a contract. I had to earn a contract, and after the first 3 days or 4 days. Jake Milford called me in his office and they offered me a contract, and it was a very exciting time to sign your first NHL contract. And of course, that year I played most of the minors in Dallas, but I had a great coach in John Muckler and taught me a lot about the game, and the rest is history.
Well, speaking of history, I want to show you what we have the first goal you ever scored in the NHL when you got called up with the Canucks. You were leading the rush. You took the check, pucks in deep, Billy Derlago. Here we go. Here's Smitty leading the rush. Bill Derlago is going to get you the puck in front. And here we go. The backhander, as you take the check, he scores.
Well,
Smitty, how'd that feel?
That felt great. I have that somewhere here, but I haven't seen that in a long time. That's Rod Settlebauer.
Settlebauer, okay. Right?
Yeah, that's your Lego. Had a helmet on here.
Oh, yeah. I see. There we go. Oh, it's Settlebauer with the backhand stopped, and then Smitty with the goal. You were in the helmet. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there we go.
That brings back great memories.
That clears it up. Yeah. On the rebound. So, that was good, man. So you played a little bit with the Canucks, and you got dealt to the Flames, Atlanta Flames at that point. Then off to Detroit for that was for Don Lever. You and Don Lever got traded for Darcy Rhoda and Ivan Boldarev, and you got an opportunity to play some more with the Flames. Tell us about your experience with Atlanta at that time and then Calgary.
Yeah, went to Calgary, then from Calgary, at the end of the year, I got traded to Detroit, yes.
Right. For Rick Vasco, okay? But you spent a lot of time in the AHL with Adirondack, but you were an all-star in the AHL. Got called up to the Red Wings, picked yourself up a Gordie Howe hat trick on your game getting called up. You scored a goal, of course. Set up a goal by John Ogrodnik and got into a fight with Al Secord, if I'm not mistaken, was the chain of events on that night. What was that like?
Yeah, well, just you get called up and it's just before the playoffs, and you're excited. Maybe a lot of guys aren't excited because we're set in a position to play in the playoffs already. But I want to make sure I got in the playoffs, and I gave my all in that game. And sometimes you got to pay the price and take on the toughest guys in the league, and that's what I did time to time. So I'm still here and in one piece, and everything's great.
Yeah, it worked out all right for you. And of course, when you came to the Maple Leafs, that was a great time in Toronto. A great time, young team, having a lot of fun. I know that, and you guys had you surprised some people. And I want to talk about, no question, your biggest goal as the Maple Leafs. As a member of the Maple Leafs, came in the 87 playoffs, the first round against St. Louis. And Vic's going to roll that tape. Here we go. Wendell Clark springs you for the breakaway, and Smitty showing off those great wheels. Now, the guy at Maple Leaf Gardens who stood up in front of the camera kind of ruined the shot for us there, but we're going to get another look at the replay. Nice pass by Clark, sent you in, and you deked to the forehand, I believe, on Greg Mellon. And it was a pretty nice deke, a nice play. That looked like a goal scorer's goal in Smitty.
Yeah, but for the first time, Wendell put the puck on my stick all year long.
Yeah, here we go. Here's a replay where we don't have the impeded view from the fan. Okay, here we go. Yeah, man, you can fly. There we go. Oh, what a deke. What a move. Feeling surprised here there, I think, coming out that deep, didn't he?
Yeah, he sure did. Yeah, that was. And of course, that was. Well, you got that right. That was a lot of fun. No matter where I go or when I'm back in Ontario, and I could be at the stop, the gas station stop on the side of 401, getting gas or getting a coffee, and people still come up to me to this day and talk about that goal. And they tell me where they were. It's unbelievable. So it's very memorable, very, very exciting for sure.
It was a clinching goal because you guys were up 3-0, I believe. I think you made it a sweep, and that was.
I think that was game 6.
Oh, game 6. So it was
3-2.
3-2. Okay, sorry. Yeah, 3-2. Game 6. Hadn't won a playoff round in 9 years. And kind of like a lot of Leaf teams we've witnessed recently, hadn't won a playoff round in 9 years. So that was a significant goal. You went on to give Detroit a real good run for their money in the next round too. But we actually have a clip of you not long after you scored that goal. Vic, if we can play it, you were interviewed by Joe Bowen.
I've been a star a few times, but I just go to have a normal skate and just go back into the dressing room. But when I went out there, I charged out there. I had my stick like this, and I was excited. I mean, it was a great feeling, and then I went right back in just as quick, back into the locker room. It was just relaxing, and I got out to get my car, and of course we parked there, kitty corner to Maple Leaf Gardens, and you couldn't move, you couldn't get outside. The people on the streets, it was unbelievable. The policemen, literally 2 of them, brought me to my car. And I got in my car, and I couldn't move anywhere. They wouldn't let me go, and they had a lot of policemen came, and they got all the crowd of people, and I kind of drove off and went back to my home, Mississauga.
Right.
I got that interview.
That was a pretty fun time.
I remember leaving the building. Actually, I stayed there for at least an hour to sign autographs before I got into my car. It was unbelievable. But great times, great memories. That's for sure. It was if it's things you dream of when you're a little kid growing up. So my times in Toronto are very, very special.
Well, you guys winning that one playoff series, and you see how you talked about the attention from the fans and just how pumped up that building was. Can you imagine what it'd be like today if the Maple Leafs were to get something done in the playoffs? So it'd be pretty nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, they've done a great job. They've got a great hockey team. They just had some tough luck, in the first round. Facing Tampa in the first round is not an easy task by no means. They've got experience, they got the will, and they've got the character, and it's just you need breaks. Maybe next year they'll get the breaks. This year we got the breaks. If you don't get the breaks, you don't win. You need lucky bounces. You need everything to go your way. It's that tight out there. It's just the margin is so tight. And I look back, and actually I talked to one of our secretaries who's not really with us anymore, but she still helps out Charlotte Graham, and we reminisced about our playoffs, and we got a lot of breaks. And good teams do get breaks, and Toronto's a good team. They'll get their breaks, and like we said before in the show, hopefully we'll meet them in the finals next year.
Yeah, that would be something else. And you guys are well poised to get there. And the Leafs, I don't know, they need I guess a little tweaking here. They have done a little bit of tweaking, but one of the things that they've lacked in recent years, and maybe you guys added a little bit of that this year. I know certainly Tampa had it. It is a little bit of grit, right? And there was some nastiness. Back when you played, you 222 NHL games, 591 penalty minutes. You fought anybody and everybody. We talked about Al Secord. You fought Clark Gillies, Stan Jonathan, Mad Dog Kelly, Joey Kosher. And, of course, your most memorable night from the fighting standpoint was against the Red Wings, November 15th, 1986. I know we've seen this before when you were on the show, but I have to show it again. You racked up 57 penalty minutes in that game against Detroit. That's still a Maple Leafs club record. I think this might have been your third scrap of the night, Basil McRae. Then Higgins, or is that Higgins or McRae?
That was actually my fourth fight. Higgins jumped me.
Fourth fight.
Before he got off the ice. So Josh Samaras did not like me, nor did I like him. So we won that game 6-0, and that's the bottom line. We won the game, but we had some great rivalries with that team. They're a great team. A lot of my friends played for that team, so I didn't have to fight my friends, but Basil and I are buddies today. But he always came after me in those games. But that's part of life. That's hockey.
Yeah, that was you and Basil, and then of course when you were leaving the ice, then that's when you got into your fourth fight of the night against Higgins, who jumped you because the Red Wings weren't quite done with you. So Demers must have sent out the word, right? Get Smitty, get Smitty.
Yeah, he sure did. Like if it got so bad, I go to Detroit for a game, and a guy came up to me and he goes, "We got to go." And I said, "I'm not fighting. My family and friends are here. If you want to fight me in the last 3 minutes, I'll fight in the last 3 minutes. But I want to play the game." Yeah, it got ridiculous. I mean, there was no need for some of that stuff. I mean, there's nothing wrong with hard hitting hockey and that kind of stuff. I mean, the fights, yeah, grant you they should happen once in a while because I think the players should, control the league but all these fights, it's just nonsense. And it is what it is. It's all over with. And I look back on everything with fond memories.
Now, so you're glad that aspect of the game is gone. I mean, that the four fights in the game.
I don't like all this stuff around the net, all the pushing and the shoving. There's no need for it. I just play the game. If you want to play physical, you play physical. Sometime, you might have to pay the price and have to fight, but it's not so much anymore. You don't see it too much anymore, but the playoffs, things flare up. But it's still in the game. It still should be part of the game because the game's got to police itself. But I'm glad there's not much more of it in the game right now.
Well, your hockey career was amazing. I mean, I know that your lower back injury that led to an earlier end to your career than you would like, but that's what happens when you play that kind of rambunctious style. And Wendell Clark had similar issues with his back and shoulders and everything else. But I want to talk about your wiffle ball career for a moment. There's a rumor out there that in the early 1980s you struggled in that sport. Apparently, Paul Woods and Mark Curtin used to take you deep consistently, and you swung in a lot of air, setting records for strikeouts, I was told. Is that true? When Curtin and
you got a lot of bad scoops because there was actually four of us. We had a league. There's Paul Woods, Mark Curtin, Reed Larson, myself, and I called myself the Awesome All-Stars. I never, ever lost a game. I beat Woody to a double hitter. He got in his car and he left, and we didn't see him for 2 days. And that is a fact. I know Kurt's always gives it to me, and Woody always gives it to me, but it is a fact. I never lost a game in wiffle ball. Woody lived on a lake. He lived on Lake Watkins. But across the street where his garage was, we had a wiffle ball park we set up. And yeah, I went undefeated that year. 8-0, won the World Series in 2 games, and the Wiffle Ball World Series. So I was actually 10-0. So they can say all they want, but that never happened.
Well, I'm glad we got that straightened out, Smitty. And I know Kurt's going to be watching this because here another thing is apparently Woody says that you were the only guy that he had to fire from his landscaping business for insubordination because he didn't know which end of the rake to use.
Yeah, well, that is partially true. But he didn't fire me. I quit on him after I helped him for 2 weeks, and he never paid me. So I quit. That is
well,
true.
That makes sense. Yeah.
The only thing that Woody was good for is I used to give him like about 4 gallons of wax, and I'd send him down to Fort Lauderdale when my boat was out of the water to wax my boat. That's the only thing Woody was good for. He was a good friend, but he was a good guy. He waxed the boat.
Best boat waxer you ever had, Woody was. I understand.
Yeah, he was great. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we had Kurt on the show a while back. Great guy, wonderful guy. And he heard the organ on the show today, so
Kurt's a great guy.
Yeah. So I want to talk. How did you end up with the Colorado Avalanche after your playing?
Well, I was doing some work in Edmonton for Glenn Sather after I retired, about a year after I retired, and I ran into Dave Draper, and we had a talk, and one thing led to another, and I talked to Pierre Lacroix in the summertime. Dave Draper brought me to the Colorado Avalanche. Never forget it. Still talk to him today. He's a great guy, great mentor, one of the finest men I've met in hockey. And I started up the Avalanche the first year they were there, and I'm still here, and I love my job. I love what I do, and everything's good.
Well, you've had some ebbs and flows, I suppose, in Colorado, like a lot of other teams do, but you managed to get a Stanley Cup, I think it was 96, 2001. And then, of course, after struggles in recent years, you guys finally made it back to the promised land. What do you think did it for you this time around, Smitty? And compare this one to the ones you've had before.
Well, they're totally different. Again, this year, like I said, and we got the breaks. We had a good team. We've had a good team the last 3 years, last 4 years. Always got bounced out in the second round. But, young teams have to learn. I don't know how much they have to learn. People use that as an excuse a little bit, I believe. But young teams do have to go through it at least once. We got all the breaks, and we played hard, and we won. But the difference for me personally is I had my girls with me, Lexi and Lainey, and they were. Lexi was born at first Stanley Cup. She was with me, but they weren't with me at this Stanley Cup. And selfishly, being with them in Denver, being at the parade, and being at all the so-called parties and get-togethers was just a great big thrill for me and my family, and that kind of made it different. Another reason why it made it different is we built a good team. This is a different team altogether than those two teams were, and they were great teams. So it takes time to build, and you need to be patient. And we got the job done this year.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that celebration. I think we have some pictures that you posted from the celebration. You and I believe it was Lexi and Lady, and then you've also got pictures of. I think it was it Laney or Lexi with Lady with the couple along with Peyton Manning. There we go. And that's Lady's boyfriend Josh, and that's Peyton Manning. That was at Elway's restaurant. That was after the parade, and we basically spent the day there. And I went home at about 7:00. They went to another party, but I went to bed because we had an 8:00 flight the next day to go home, and I had enough. But yeah, Peyton Manning was a real gentleman, a real great guy, and it was just for my kids to enjoy that and experience that. That's once in a lifetime, and we'll never forget it. That's Laney and I. It did make it a little bit different, yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's Laney and I at the at Joe's house. And there's a couple older guy right there. He's a great guy.
Phil.
Phil's a great guy. Phil's he's a real special guy. He's patient with people with the cup and that kind of stuff because no one knows what's going to happen to the cup the next minute. But like I said, it was a thrill of a lifetime, especially with my kids being there.
Yeah, well, that does make it different. And I want to talk about how you guys built the team because I guess every cup is a little bit different. But first of all, I mean, who's responsible for Cale Makar? I know he's picked 4th overall, I believe, the year he was.
We have a scouting staff. Alan Heppel was our chief scout at that time. He moved to Arizona. Now Wade Klippenstein is our chief scout, and it was a consensus. We like this guy. We like this guy a lot. We did not think he'd fall to 4, and he did, and we took him. And it was kind of a I don't know how to say this. It was at the end of the day, it was just a great pick staff, and for a kid that young to win the Norris and then win the MVP in the playoffs is
Conn Smythe, yeah.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He comes from a great family. His mom and dad recognized me from playing in Calgary, so when we drafted him, it's just a good all the way around by their staff, by the organization, and of course, Cale came in and proved himself, and and he deserved everything. And he's a great kid too.
Looking at his bio, I see that
there's dad's a great kid. He comes from a great family. We also drafted his brother 2 years ago, and so we have two Makars in our organization.
Right, and his cousin is apparently Tom Laziak.
I did not know that.
But so what do you think that? I mean, obviously the kid's got great wheels. He plays the game smart. He does everything right. He makes some game changing plays. But what is it? Is there something specific about this kid that you said that when you were scouting him, or what you've learned since that time, that makes him stand out above the rest?
Well, I think it's his agility and his angles and the way he can pivot around the ice so quickly. Not many guys can do that. Gretzky did it. He was, quicker than people thought he was. He's quick on the puck, and he was quick to move with the puck, and that's what Cale does. Cale is a late bloomer. He didn't get much attention in that draft until the end, and I remember we followed him closely all over the place, and it was in the Alberta Junior A championships, and he was he got that puck on the blue line, and he was electrifying. He could beat a guy, the first guy. The great thing about him, he's a great scorer. He can score on the outside, like he can score from the top of the circles. Not a lot of guys can do that. Not even a lot of great forwards in NHL can do that, but he can do that. His shot is prolific. He's a smart player. He's a special player. And we were lucky that he fell in our laps, and he's a Colorado Avalanche for a long time. He's signed a nice contract last summer, and he'll be with us for a while.
Well, you and your scouting staff, and have done a pretty good job, obviously, with the Avalanche. What would you say is probably maybe your best hidden gem? The guy that you found, the guy that you spotted, the guy that you talked the team into taking that worked out really well. Is there a guy, one or two guys you can think of that your kind of Smitty's hidden gems?
Well, we as a group, I think one of our strongest drafts was getting Bowen Byram, the fourth pick overall. It's a guy we really wanted. We lost the lottery that year. I know Joe wasn't too happy, and I actually called him up, and I could tell. And Joe doesn't show too much emotion. I said, "Don't worry, we're gonna get I think the best player at number 4." And the other 3 players are great players, but he fell to us at number 4, and I really think that was a huge deal because he played the most. He's 20 years old. He played the most 5-on-5 minutes maybe in the whole playoffs, or maybe just in the last series. But I know the last game he logged close to minutes in ice time. Only Taves played more than him. And for a 20-year-old to do what he had to do, it's special. And he's a special kid. He also comes from a special family. And to me, that was a huge pick. And the same draft, we drafted Alex Newhook. We got him 16 in the draft, and I thought that was a complete steal. He's playing for us. He did say, he didn't play every playoff game. We played most of them. He made some great plays in some of the games. He collected a lot of assists, and those 2 guys stand up. Every guy we pick is special. I mean, you pick a guy, he's like part of your family, and you wish the best for the player, and you wish he gets opportunity. But sometimes that doesn't happen. But those 2 picks, they really stand out. Mikko Rantanen, get Mikko Rantanen where we did, I thought was unbelievable, and he's such a wonderful person. He's good with my kids, and he's the big fin, and he makes jokes and he laughs. But he's a great hockey player. Even getting McKinnon in the first round. There was 3 great players that year. There was him and Jones and Barkov, and And it was unanimous that we wanted McKinnon, and we got him. And, you could have picked any player and got a great player, but to me, we picked the best player. I think he's one of the most explosive players to play in the NHL for a long time. And we're glad Nate's aboard, and had a great playoff. He's a great leader. And we got lucky with our picks. And you got to get some luck, and some players got to fall to you. And the staff that we have in Denver, everybody included, they're all part of the drafting process. And it was just, we're fortunate. We got a good young nucleus, and we're ready to go for some more.
I know that Newhook has helped make a lot of Colorado Avalanche fans out on the Rock. That's for certain. You mentioned a lot. You mentioned a few times when you're talking about some of the players you picked about their families. How much does that come into it when you're looking for players to draft, particularly the higher draft picks?
Well, I don't think it does, but you like to meet the family. I've been in families' homes. Never had a bad experience. Never going to see Matthew Barzal in Vancouver. Met him a couple times with his family, and they're great people. And they ask you questions, and then you take the kid out to dinner and that kind of stuff. But that was a great experience. I'm a big fan of Matthew Barzal. I'm glad he's doing great in the NHL. But it just kind of, you get to see more of the background of the family. Where the kid's from and that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, it doesn't make it any choice. Doesn't sway you in the draft as far as making a pick.
Yeah, sometimes a kid might not have the greatest background, but he's got the intestinal fortitude, and he wants to win, and he wants to play hard, and that's what you have to look at, right? So, Joe Sakic gets named the general manager of the year. I think that's kind of a no-brainer when you look back at what you guys did. But he's put together a pretty good staff there in Colorado, obviously. What do you think? Here in Toronto, we think what for years it's been 18 years now since they won a playoff round. What does this team need to make it to that next level?
Well, like I said, I mean, they won 7 games against a team that won 2 Stanley Cups in a row. Went to the 3rd Stanley Cup, and I watched the games closely. It just they never got any breaks. And it's not an excuse. It's just the way it is. If the breaks, you don't get the bounces, you don't win. I remember winning the 2nd Stanley Cup. It was Game 7. We were at home against LA, and we're losing 1-0. Like I think midway through the 3rd period, and the puck hit Patrick and was going behind Patrick in the net, like over top of him. And Ray Bourque out of nowhere hit it, took a stick at it like a baseball bat and knocked it out before it was going to go in the net. Now, if that goes in the net, we don't win. And we go down the ice and we score. So it's a 2-goal difference in a matter of maybe 45 seconds. And of course, we scored again to advance to the next round. But I like the Toronto team, like their makeup, their team. They're well coached, they're well managed. And again, I think next year they're going to get their breaks, and I hope they get their breaks. I'm a Maple Leaf fan, and like I said, I hope to see them in the Stanley Cup Finals if we're lucky enough to get there again too.
Yeah, I know what you mean by puck luck and breaks, right? So 2 years ago against Montreal, they lose John Tavares, center 1A in the first game. Of course, that's a devastating loss. How do you recover from that? Now the Habs just have to focus on that top line, and it shuts everything down. And this season they're up 3-2. They're up 3-2 in Game 6. They get a chance to put it away. Of course, it's a penalty. The Bolts tie it up, and then they lose in overtime, and they had chances in overtime too. So, you do need that puck luck, and you just need to have that. But every team, most of the teams that were dynasties, for example, if you look back at the Islanders, you look back at the Red Wings, and you look back at a lot of these teams, then even the Oilers, right? They had those years where they couldn't beat the teams they had to beat, and they lost, and they had devastating playoff losses. And Boston, before they won, they had that game seventh game collapse where they're up 3-0. These types of adversities happen to all the teams. Almost most teams. And they are able to overcome those adversities. They're able to use that as a motivating factor. Is that something that maybe the Avalanche used last year? Maybe the Leafs can use going forward.
That's a good. I believe so. It's up to the leaders in the locker room, and I know, the heartbreaks we've had the last 3 or 4 years. Going deep in the second round in games and losing by like a fluke goal here, and something bad happened. Our leaders like McKinnon and Landeskog, Eric, EJ Johnson. I know because I was around. They had enough. There was no more of this, no more heartaches, no more nothing. And our coach Bednar at our speech beginning of the year, he mentioned this. And it was we were on a mission this year from day one. Once we got in the playoffs, we took it a step further, and I give the whole team credit, the whole organization credit, but it goes right down to your leaders. You need those guys in the locker room. I'm repeating myself, like the Landeskog to stand up. Landeskog goes out to one of our players gets run, he'll fight him, and McKinnon, what he's done, and EJ, you have to. I'm forgetting a couple of guys, obviously, but you have to have those leaders. We had those leaders back for teams that we won early on, the 2 Stanley Cups. We've had Sakics, we had the Foots, Patrick Waugh. Foot was a tremendous leader. He took charge of the dressing room, and you can't go to the coach all the time pointing to coach. Players need to take responsibility themselves. They need to take charge, but you do need those guys in the dressing room to help the rest of the guys accountable, and we have that. And like I said, we were on a mission from day one. We were lucky, and but we still we reached our goal, and we got the cup.
Salary cap issues. Every team runs into them. Every team has them. You guys, you've got a free agent named Nazem Kadri, who I know played a pretty key role in you guys winning the cup. He was basically run out of town in Toronto, but he gets to Colorado, and now he wins it all. And Kadri is a guy who, I don't know, up against. Can you afford to keep him? I mean, he's an unrestricted free agent. He's due for his cake, right? But can you guys afford to keep him? I know that you're trying to do something, but what's going to happen here?
Well, we hope we keep him. We want to keep him. He's a huge part of our team. Gave up a lot to get him. But I thought, I said this before on your show, we made a hockey trade. Toronto got a good player, and we got a good player coming back. I just think Nazem needed a change of scenery. He's from Toronto, and probably getting him out of his hometown was good. I got to spend some time with him at the end of the season. He's a great kid. No one's more happy for him than I am. And we're going to do everything we can to keep him. It's just tough to keep everybody. Sometimes you got to lose guys, but I know at this time that we're doing everything possible. Joe and Chris McFarland and Josh Kroenke are doing what they can do to keep him here, and I hope they can. But I wish all the best for him either way. So it's just that's the nature of our business. But he was I was a big fan of his, and I knew he'd be a good addition to our club. He's a guy that I thought would give a spark, and he did. He's got some people against him a little bit for things he did, but whatever happened before has not happened again, and he's a great player for us this year. I mean, at one time I think he was close to leading the NHL in scoring until he got hurt. So he was a big part of the Stanley Cup. Big part of the Stanley Cup.
No doubt about that. And it really was nice to see Naz get his due because, what happened to him in Toronto wasn't fair at all. I mean, just, he made a few mistakes, which you do in the heat of battle sometimes. But I thought he took way too much heat for what happened. But like you said, a change of scenery was really positive, really good for him. And now, he gets an opportunity either with you guys or somebody else to make the kind of money that he deserves. And it's going to be a good thing for Naz McCadry heading forward, no matter what happens. Now, Darcy Kemper wins you a Stanley Cup, but he's gone, and you won't be re-signing Kemper. Instead, you grab a guy named Alexander Georgiev from the New York Rangers. Now, 3 years, $10.2 million. Obviously, Georgiev wasn't going to get a lot of time playing with Shesterkin, and so it opens up a spot for him. But I've seen Georgiev play against the Leafs and have dynamite games, and this guy is a pretty good goaltender. Tell me about your assessment of Alexander Georgiev.
Well, we really liked him. We've always liked him. He's always come up in meetings, and the pro scouts really liked him. Our analytics staff really liked him. He's going to be he's going to be cheaper than Kemp. He's a little younger, and you just gotta, to put everything in the piece of the puzzle together and stay underneath the cap. You have to use your thinking, and we did, but nothing against Darcy Kemper. Darcy Kemper was part of the reason we won the cup. He had a great season. He's a great goalie, and whoever gets him is getting a really solid goalie. But you just got to use your imagination, and you got to, get off that, top number against the cap and free money up for other players, and that's what we did. And Chris McFarland and Joe Sakic did a great job there. But then take nothing away from Darcy Kemper. He was a warrior. He got hurt in the playoffs, came back, and he made some great saves, some timely saves for us, and he was a big reason we won the Stanley Cup.
And Georgiev's, by the way, 50 over the past 5 seasons, he's only 26 years old. He's meant to be probably younger. 58, 48, 11 with a 2.94 goals against and a 908 save percentage. Kid's a solid netminder, and hopefully he has comes through for you guys. So you got some other UFAs that you've got to have a look at, like Nikushkin and Jack Johnson, and you did get the Nathan McKinnon deal. I think he hasn't got the deal done yet, but I'm assuming that's going to be a priority, and probably part of the Kemper move was to make sure that you got the funds necessary to get McKinnon on a long-term deal.
We got Nikushkin done yesterday.
Oh, did you? Okay, perfect. Yeah, there you go.
So that was good, and we'll take care of Nathan. That's for sure, and that's all in the works, and that's all Joe and C-Mac and Josh Crockett. They'll take care of that stuff, and we're just you just got to free up money to pay the right guys and stay underneath that cap, and it's difficult. Every team has to do it, and we're doing it. But like I said, you've got to use your imagination, and you've got to be smart in what you're doing. And I give Chris McFarland and Joe Sakic a lot of credit. It's well deserved, and they work hard all the time. So they're always thinking, you win the Stanley Cup, the next day you're back in the business world, trying to reshape your team for next year. But hopefully these guys can take some time off the next couple of weeks and enjoy the rest of the summer that we have.
Well, that's part of the game, right? I mean, it's a big part of, huge part of it. It's not like you can't just make a hockey trade like you used to be able to make. You have to make it fit cap-wise, which brings me to the Peter Mrazek deal for the Maple Leafs. Is that a deal that they had to make?
Well, I don't know exactly what their pay structure is. I know a little bit about it, but they, if that's what they felt they had to do, they had to do it. Again, I got enough problems with my organization trying to figure things out than I do with another organization. But it looks like they got the goalie they wanted, so I'm sure they're happy. And at Mrazek, I mean, they had a pretty good salary. They had to get rid of that salary, and they did. And they got some more money to use their imagination. So that's, if they're happy, then that's all that matters. And we'll see what happens next year.
Yeah, well, Matt Murray does have some pedigree, right? He's won a couple of Stanley Cups, and he's had a couple of off years, but apparently there's some technical issues that he's had that he's been looking at, and the Leafs goalie coach who's familiar with Murray has some ins on that, and of course Sheldon Keefe and Kyle Dubas had Matt Murray back in the Sioux, so they're familiar with him. They know him for a long time, so perhaps he is the answer. Now, I know that you grew up as a Habs fan. What do you think of the number one overall choice, Yuri Slafkovsky, big power forward?
I mean, personally, there were some great players there. I'm not going to knock any players that were there. He would have been my pick. I like him. He's a great player. He's a big guy. He played in a men's league, and it just we'll see how it works out. You never know how it's going to work out, but we liked him. I liked him, and I mean, it just, you don't know how it's going to work out for 3 or 4 or 5 years, but I like the pick. And
Alex DeBrincat in Ottawa makes the Senators suddenly a little bit of a different looking team, doesn't it?
He's a great hockey player. He can score any which way around the net. He's in a. DJ Smith's going to have some more arsenal this year. DJ's a friend of mine. I think DJ's an excellent coach. Ottawa has slowly paid the price, but slowly building in the right direction. And with a guy like that, you're going to line up your. And I think Ottawa's going to have a good year. It was a great pickup, in my opinion. Great pickup.
Yeah, I like Stützle to bounce back with a little bit better year. And Tkachuk is a heck of a young player too. He's got a good young team in Ottawa. It's going to be an interesting season. I know you're already back at it, Smitty. I mean, I know you're trying to get some little bit R&R, get some fishing in, et cetera, et cetera. But you know what? I really appreciate you taking the time to join us here, and good luck with the Avalanche moving forward. And hopefully, we get our wish. And we see the Avs and the Leafs in the Stanley Cup final next spring.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I still have my daughter's wedding the latter of July. My oldest daughter's getting married, so I'm from the Stanley Cup to get ready for the wedding. So there's a lot going on in my household, but it's all good. We can maybe a couple more days. I'll feel better, a little more rested.
So I'm sorry, the wedding's this year or next year?
This year, last Saturday in July this year. Lexi's getting married. Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck with that. To have fun with the wedding. I hope you have a beautiful day, and and it works out fantastic. I just became a grandfather for the second time a couple of weeks ago, and this is you got lots of fun stuff to look forward to.
Congratulations! Yeah, she's married a nice man, Ian Hodge, and so he's an engineer and he's a great guy. So they were all with us during the Stanley Cup finals and that stuff. So yeah, it's going to be that. After that, I'm going to go away and do some fishing somewhere. I don't know where I'm going to go, but I have to get out.
Right, for sure. I know you do. Okay, well, next time you're in Toronto, give me a holler, because we're going to go golfing. We're going to go hook you up with some nice Italian clothing from Classica Imports, and it's really good to talk to you, Smitty. Thank you.
Joe, it's always been good on your show. I appreciate you always having me. Take care of me. I see you, and congratulations on your grandchildren. You take care of them, hug them, and love them.
All right, thanks, buddy. You too. All right, more sports.
Take care, buddy.
Back. Thanks, buddy.
More Joe Tilley's Great Canadian Sports Show coming up after the break. Guests on Joe Tilley Sports receive a gift certificate from Classica Imports. Top of the line imported men's clothing. Check out the Classica Essential Collection now. Go to shopclassica.com. Addiction Rehab Toronto, Toronto's #1 alcohol and drug treatment center, saving lives, reuniting families. The only treatment center in the province to offer medical detox, treatment, sober living, and lifetime aftercare all in one place. Our unique and specialized programs are designed to equip our clients with the tools to successfully lead a life of dignity, respect, and purpose. Let us help save your life or your loved one's life. Call today for more information or to facilitate an intervention. 1-855-787-2424 or visit addictionrehabtoronto.ca. Joe Tilley Sports is brought to you by COSA, Central Ontario Standardbred Association, providing a united voice for harness horse people racing at Ontario tracks. Check out your benefits today at COSAonline.com and check out COSA TV on Facebook and YouTube for all the latest harness news and live action updates. Live racing year-round. Go to hpibet.com for all your wagering options. Become a member today and your first bet is free. That's hpibet.com. Do you know why that happened? You didn't fix your ball mark. The birds around here are very protective of the course, and when people don't take care of it, this is what happens. It's pretty simple. Just find your mark, fix it, and at least one other. Hey, look at the bright side. We're not up on the northern course. They've got bears and moose. Visit moregolf.ca today. You'll find everything a golfer could need, from balls, gloves, and clubs to custom fitting opportunities and training gear. Go to moregolf.ca and get $20 off your first purchase of $100 or more. Just enter the promo code JT Sports. Time for my COSA Swiss pick of the week. Last week, I went to Mohawk for Thursday night's 10th race, first leg of the grassroots series for 2-year-old Colt Pacers. I went with the hockey theme. Olczyk on top with the Golden Jet. Now, Olczyk got boxed in along the rail at the 3-quarter mark, couldn't get out of that pickle. Wall Street Bell with Doug McNair driving for trainer Blake McIntosh got the job done. Hut Stables, the owner, the Golden Jet got up for second. The 437 Triactor returned $150 on a $1 ticket. This week, I'm back at Mohawk, Tuesday night's 7th race, second leg of the grassroots series for 3-year-old Philly Pacers, and I'm liking the number 9 horse, Delights by Emma. With Sylvan Fillion driving, the filly is starting to regain her form, and let's go with the 139 Exacta and Triacta box. For all the racing updates, visit COSA TV on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and go to hpibet.com for your wagering options. Time now for the Rycom Wrap, sports news that's close to home. Well, despite what amounts to a home field advantage in Seattle, a players-only meeting, and an awesome pitching performance by Alek Manoah, it wasn't enough for the Blue Jays. Manoah was great, facing former Jay Robbie Ray. Just one little mistake that Carlos Santana parked for a 2-run homer. That was all the Mariners would need for the 2-1 victory. That guaranteed the series win for the M's. They swept. Jays dropped 9 of 10. Ouch. Jays are just not getting the hits when they need them. Is it time for a shakeup? Does Charlie have to go? Meanwhile, George Springer and Alek Manoah will be joining Vlad Guerrero Jr. and Alejandro Kirk at next week's All-Star festivities. It's a good young team. Well, the Maple Leafs have decided they're going to rely on a reclamation project, yes, to solve their goaltending issues. The Buds acquired netminder Matt Murray from their provincial rivals from Ottawa for future considerations. They also get 3rd and 7th round picks in next year's draft. The Sens will also pick up 25% of Murray's salary, but he'll still cost the Leafs $4.69 million over 2 years. Murray, who's 28, won a couple Stanley Cups in Pittsburgh a few years back, but his save percentage has dipped the past 3 seasons. Now, the Leafs believe that with a couple tweaks here and there, he'll be as good as new. It's a bit of a gamble, but Kyle Dubas and Sheldon Keefe both know this guy. If he plays the way he has in the past, he'll be a good fit, and his new mates are going to love him. Well, the Argos are home to the Saskatchewan Roughriders Saturday. Then the two clubs will square off in Regina the following week. The Riders were home to Ottawa this past week. Cody Fajardo gives to the rookie Frankie Hickson. Hickson dances his way through the line. This kid's got some wheels. Takes it 63 yards to the house. The Riders roll 28-13. Fajardo is 13-2 career against teams from the East. Saskatchewan is 4-1 on the season. The Red Blacks fall to 0-4. They also lost their quarterback, Jeremiah Masoli, in that game. Toronto FC let one slip away against the San Jose Earthquake. Jonathan Osorio put the Reds ahead in the 75th minute, but Jack Scan scored in extra time to enable the Quakes to earn a 2-2 draw. The Reds are in Chicago this week. Canadian Elite Basketball League, the league-leading Hamilton Honey Badgers rung up their 4th straight win. Zane Waterman dropped 19 points on the Edmonton Stingers. Isaiah Reese poured in 18. The Badgers came from 8 points down late in the game. Hamilton wins at 87-81. They're 11-3, tops in the league. Niagara is second at 10-4. A whole bunch of undefeated local fighters will climb into the ring at the Bayfield East Arena in Barrie on Saturday night. Mark Smither, who will be fighting for the Canadian Super Lightweight title, hails from Barrie. Joshua Fraser, Sudeep Singh, Josh Wagner, and Ricardo Brown will also be looking to keep their perfect records intact, and I like their chances. Going to be a terrific show up in Barrie. Stephen Ames tied for 5th at the Seniors PGA Championship, closing with a 5-under par 65. Now, here's our one-shot shootout shot of the week.
God damn it.
4! Our shot of the week is brought to you by One Shot Shootout. It only takes one shot.
Oh, it's gonna work.
Penny Claire Tilley.
Good.
Number
job,
3 here,
good
Wind
job.
Dance. That's rolling up to the stick.
going into
It's
the
got a
hole.
chance. Oh, that is sensational.
Yes! It's almost in.
She'll be putting for birdie here on number 3, Wind Dance.
Today's environmental tip: keep your drinks in reusable containers. Instead of buying individually packaged drinks, consider buying a bulk container for your favorite beverage and buy a reusable bottle. Not only will this help the environment, but it will also help you save money.
Rycom, passionate people who turn complicated business problems into simplified technology solutions for public and private sector real estate, properties, portfolios, and enterprise customers. Optimize and future-proof smart buildings from the ground up. The latest in fault locating, base building network design, managed services, cybersecurity, data analytics. Our fault detection will support all smart strategies, define projected outcomes for capital planning, and reduce environmental impact. Rycom, smart protection solutions. At Rycom, we're building a path to a smart and environmentally friendly future. Thanks once again to Brad Smith, Motor City Smitty, for being on the program. Thank you for watching, and join us next week when CFL legend Russ Jackson joins the program. We'll see you then. Joe Tilley's Great Canadian Sports Show is brought to you by Brian Gribben Insurance Planning.
helping you solidify your financial future.
At BGIP, what we do that's unique in the marketplace is we show people how to spend and enjoy their money in their early years of retirement without the fear of running out. Also, we're able to do this without you having to change financial advisors. Please look us up at bgip.ca today. Let's book a 30-minute phone call to see how we can bring value to you and your family in your planning.
Call Brian today for all your retirement needs. We did. 905-686-5678. Do you want to buy or sell a home? Could 31 years of real estate experience help you? Why not speak to an amazing team that loves to overpromise and overdeliver? Aldo has a tremendous team of experts on staff. They are committed to making your next real estate transaction smooth and comfortable. Call 416-GET-ALDO or visit getaldo.com. MNP, a leading Canadian national accounting, tax, and business accounting firm. MNP proudly serves and responds to the need of their clients in the private, public, and nonprofit sectors. Through partner-led engagements, MNP provides a collaborative, cost-effective approach to do business and personal strategies to help people and organizations to succeed across the country and around the world. With local offices in Oshawa, Mississauga, Burlington, and more, their team is here to support you. Visit mnp.ca today to learn more.
The UPS store in Brooklyn wants to help your small business thrive. We offer shipping and more, like our pack and ship guarantee. Plus, we offer graphic design services, fast digital printing, secure document shredding, and mailboxes with a real address. Visit 31 Baldwin Street in Brooklyn, Ontario. Say you saw this on Joe Tilley's Great Canadian Sports Show, and we'll tell you how to save 10% every day.